Okay, so first lesson, getting some basics taken care of. So, because of how skilled you already are, I mean, we're definitely going to be going through stuff fairly quick, I'd imagine, here. Um, so I think the main thing is just getting the skill of looking at rhythm notation and knowing what it's telling you to do. It's kind of getting familiar with how to sight read a lot of this stuff and how to count it, how to understand it, things like that. So that's what number one is about in terms of just kind of understanding some really basic stuff here. So we got, like everything else labeled there, you know, your whole note, which lasts 4 beats or 4 quarter notes. A half note lasts 2 quarter notes, 2 beats. Quarter note being the full beat here in our 4/4 time signature. Now there are plenty of other time signatures out there, but just so you know, no matter what time signature we work with or you end up seeing, a whole note will always equal 4 quarter notes, no matter what. Doesn't matter the time signature. A whole note can only equal 4 quarter notes. It has to. A half note will always equal 2 quarter notes, no matter what the time signature is, always, and so on and so on. So with this, be a good idea, and good idea to practice at 60 beats a minute. But maybe try some other speeds and see how fast you get. Now, when we get to doing speed work, like pure speed work, the goal is going to be, starting at 60 beats a minute, and it's going to be short exercises, little drills, because the idea is speed with speed building. So we think of it in terms of sprinting. You can't sprint for a long period of time. So you can't play guitar as fast as you possibly can for a long period of time. We're talking about your absolute max speed stuff here. So like your sprinting speed where you're just going absolutely all out for a few seconds there. Like 5-10 seconds, just going crazy. So that's why when we do speed building drills, they're going to be short. And then basically every time you play a speed building drill correctly one time, and you bump it up 5 beats a minute, do it again. Go up by 5, do it again. And you just keep going and going and going and going. For rhythm stuff, it's going to be a little bit different. However, I mentioned with number 2, see how fast you can get, and to add a little bit of challenge, make sure you're tapping your foot the entire time and counting out loud the entire time. So you can definitely go faster if you're not counting out loud at the faster speeds, but I figure let's take things to the next level with you, since you are fairly advanced, and let's get the counting skills up to speed, kind of get you closer to your shredding capabilities. Let's get the counting capabilities up. So anyway, I'll play this here at a few different tempos, just so you have an idea what it sounds like and what it looks like. With Guitar Pro, you'll be able to hear that as well. So when you have the rests, like basically like this bar over here, when you get to that, after playing that G, whoops, I forgot to turn this off. After you play that G5, when I go to mute, so we haven't done much muting stuff or rest stuff, so I don't know if you already know this technique. Just in case you don't, what I'm doing is I am resting my picking hand on the strings gently. At the same time, I'm letting the pressure off of my left hand here, the fretting hand, but I'm not letting go of the strings altogether. So, if I let go altogether, have that happen. If I let go just a little bit, you get some harmonic sounds happening there. So I'm touching the strings, but I'm not applying pressure like that. So it's a matter of, for the rests, the whole note rest, the half note rest, all that stuff, I am releasing pressure here, but maintaining contact with the string. At the same time, I'm putting my hand down, my picking hand down across all 6 strings, but I'm not like slamming my hand down. It's gentle there. You don't want to put a lot of pressure, just enough so you're touching the strings. You might hear a little bit of noise happen as you make the transition from chord ringing out to releasing the pressure, and that's okay. That's just a natural thing that'll happen when a human plays a guitar. So anyway, here we go. I'm going to count 4 so you know when I'm going to begin. And throughout this entire thing, I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4 along with the beats. And that's what I want you to do. And make sure you're tapping your foot. Obviously, you can't really see my foot in here, but you can kind of see the guitar jiggling. I'll nod my head a bit too. So this to emphasize that, yes, tap your foot the whole time. Tap your foot the whole time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's do it at 120. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You start running out of breath at these speeds. I'll do one more at 160. And 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 3, 4. 1, 2. Whoops! Made a mistake. For some reason I saw it as a dotted half, or anyway, it's the wrong thing. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're done. Alright. Yeah, I'll make a mistake every now and then in these recaps. Unfortunately, I made a mistake in your very first one. Alright, so let me change this. There we go. Alright, so this was like the introduction to eighth notes. So, this is where I talked about syncing the hand and the foot up. So thinking like there's like a rope or something attached from your hand to your foot. So every time the foot goes down, the hand goes down. Whenever the hand comes up, the foot's coming up too. So it's this back and forth or down and up motion the whole time. So you want that hand and foot to be completely synced up no matter what's going on here. So eventually we'll work on doing nothing but upstrokes, or you can also think of it as doing nothing but playing on the upbeat. So having that hand and foot synced up is going to be very important in order to comfortably feel what that rhythm is. So a lot of the upbeat upstroke stuff is where things get really difficult for people. So just kind of a heads up there, just to let you know what's coming. And let's see. Yeah, another thing regarding like the hand constantly going up and down, you know, when you're doing these multiple downstrokes in a row here, or hitting these chords on the downbeat, you always have that upstroke that happens in the middle here, because you can't do 2 downstrokes in a row without some upward motion happening in between. When you work on this one, instead of counting 1, 2, 3, 4 the entire time, you're going to start adding in eighth note stuff. So you are going to say what you play. Then I'll be demonstrating that in just a moment here. So you play through this whole thing twice, and then we end this chord here. And the resolve chord I usually don't let it run or ring out the entire 4 beats. I'll probably just say done. I usually just say that and then stop after like a beat or two. So with this one, I mentioned you can take it as far as you can while tapping the entire time and counting. Now make sure that you keep everything as a unit. So obviously you want to be able to strum the thing and play the chords. But you also need to make sure that the foot is tapping the entire time with the metronome and accurately as well. So it has to be accurate, always tapping on that downbeat. Okay? If you find that you're tapping on the down and the upbeat, like a lot of times people are learning eighth notes, they might tap on the downbeat here as well as the upbeat, and we don't want to do that. Always just tap on the downbeat. So yeah, strumming, tapping accurately with the metronome, and counting out loud. If you can't do all 3 of those things, then it doesn't count. We don't want to go faster, okay? So yeah, let's go ahead and get into the demonstration stuff here. I'll do a few different speeds. I'll count off 4 so you know when I'm going to begin. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and done. Here it is at 120. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 160. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Let's see if I can put all that together at 200. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Challenging. Let's try 240 for one last thing, because why the heck not? Have some fun with it. I'm gonna get good at that foot tapping doing this. See if I can actually count 240. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So with this, well, typically, like I mentioned with the speed building stuff, it's going to be going up by 5 beats per minute. But this, maybe 10 or 20 for you in working this thing out. That'll cover a lot of stuff fairly well. So in addition to these 2 things that I gave you this week, today, because we have 2 weeks until, for me being out of town, I'm going to send you the guitar profiles for basically all of the 8th note rhythms in this rhythm course that I've been working on. Hopefully it'll be out in the next few months. I got a lot of video recording to do now. But some of the stuff is going to start dealing with a lot of upbeat, upstroke stuff. So what I want you to do with this, or with the stuff I send you, if you can send me a video demonstrating like some of the more difficult things. Let's say you come across one you're not sure what it is. Obviously, you're going to have Guitar Pro to help you figure it out. I'd like you to try figuring out what the rhythm is without Guitar Pro. And you know what? Let me bring up one, just so I can further demonstrate what I'm really talking about here. So take just a moment, maybe a few moments. Let's see. Oh, that's Guitar Pro 7. I want Guitar Pro 6, so it'll open better. Let's see. Is this the one? That will work. Okay. So this all for the rhythm course. So I have the strumming direction also put in the tab here. So that symbol right there is a downstroke. This one right here is an upstroke. It looks like it should be the other way, doesn't it? It looks like this is an upstroke. It looks like this is a downstroke. I don't know why it is that way. I just know it is. And I just follow the rules that have been set before us. So anyway, this thing here. This is something we haven't looked at yet. But this curved line, that is a tied mark. And so this note is tied over to this. This is something you can do if you want a chord to ring out into a new bar. For example, if I did this, see now this chord is tied over into, or basically the chord here on beat 4 is tied over to beat number 1. So you'd strum it on beat 4 and it would also ring out across beat 1 here. So that's something you can do if you want something to last longer than the bar allows. So anyway, the tied mark here, this is to help you visually see where all the beats are. Just like with the whole thing with eighth notes, you have the horizontal bar here. So yeah, the vertical line is called a stem. The horizontal line is called a flag. You'd think it'd be called a flower because you have a stem and a flower, but no. You have a stem and a flag, not a pole and a flag. Again, I'm just following the rules that have been set forth before us. Anyway, so that's beat 1. This is all beat 2. This is beat 3. That's beat 4. So, rhythm remains the same throughout all of this. So the rhythm we have is 1, 2, and 4. 1, 2, and 4, and so on. So, we are only saying the part of the rhythm we are playing here. 1, 2, and 4. 1, 2, and 4. And then the strumming pattern is following this. So you strum down on the downbeat, up on the upbeat. Down, down, up, down. Down, down, up, down. Sinking the hand and the foot up and all that stuff. So, I just want to let you know this so you have a better chance of figuring things out. And go as far as you're comfortable. If you just want to focus on the 2 things we went over in class today, do that, and then work on whatever else you want. When we do meet again in 2 weeks, I'll be asking you to demonstrate what I did give you, just different speeds, just to see how things go. I'll ask you how far you got in this rhythm stuff for the rhythm course, if you choose to go along with it. And so, yeah, we'll take it from there. So, but after that, like all of January, when we're doing, each class week after week after week, it's going to go much smoother. So I'll be able to give you appropriate stuff and test things out each week and see how it goes. But right now, we're just in that early phase of giving you all the right info so you can understand the basic stuff and then progress from there. So we will be getting to more interesting things in terms of technicality and all that eventually, but got to get those basics first. So if you have any questions whatsoever, please let me know. I will have my laptop with me when I go out of town. I still got to do some promotion stuff I do on most days of the week. So email me any questions you have. Email me any video demos you can. And I will be able to respond. All right. So I will see you in 2 weeks.